Do you feel like the world is moving too fast? And that suddenly, life has become noisy, heavy, complicated? Maybe you've reached a stage in life where all you want is peace. But where do you find that peace when everything around you seems to rush nonstop? Today, I want to share a secret with you. A secret that isn't found in grand achievements, storefront displays, or elaborate plans. It's hidden in simplicity. In that life without excess, where every detail has soul. And this secret, my friend, can change the way you see your days from here on out. This video is made especially for you, someone who has lived a lot, has stories to tell, and now wants more lightness than hustle. More silence than noise, more essence than excess. If you're over 60 and feel there's still so much to live for, but with more meaning, more calm, and more truth, then watch until the end, because together, we'll remember something the modern world tries to make us forget: true happiness. Lives in simplicity. The invisible weight we carry. You know that exhaustion with no name? That feeling like something weighs on you, even when your body is still? Often, it doesn't come from what we do, but from what we carry without realizing. Over time, we collect things, objects, obligations, memories, expectations, demands. We fill closets, drawers, shelves, and without noticing, we also fill our hearts with burdens that no longer serve us. We think we need everything. That outfit stored away for years, that appliance we use once a decade, that packed schedule of social commitments we don't even enjoy. And the funny thing is, the more we accumulate on the outside, the emptier we feel inside. The house may be full, but the heart feels short on lightness. The mind stays busy, but the soul remains quiet, waiting for us to pause and listen to what truly matters. And the strangest part? It doesn't happen all at once. This weight settles in little by little. It starts with the urge to do more, have more, prove more. Until one day, we wake up and don't recognize our own pace of life anymore. A simple life begins right at that point. When we stop, take a deep breath, and ask, do I really need all this? Or am I just repeating what I was taught to do without questioning? Letting go isn't losing. It's making space for the new. It's clearing the way for what's essential. It's not just about emptying the house, but emptying the heart of what no longer makes sense. Sometimes, you have to release the idea of who you thought you needed to be, to rediscover who you've always been. And when that happens, something shifts. You start seeing beauty in small things. You learn to savor freshly brewed coffee, the smell of rain on soil, unhurried conversations with someone you love. You realize that living well isn't about living with much. It's about living with enough. The secret lies in understanding that enough varies from person to person, but it always has one thing in common. It fits within what the heart can carry lightly. And anything that weighs too much, anything that drains more than it nourishes, maybe it's time to leave it behind, because life, when it becomes lighter, also becomes more beautiful. And you don't need a huge change to begin. Just one small step: opening a drawer, clearing an obligation, saying no to something you always said yes to out of habit. A simple life doesn't arrive suddenly. It comes in slowly, like morning light through a window. And when you allow it, it shows you how much less can actually be so much more. Peace doesn't live in noise. There's an illusion we've carried since childhood, that life must be filled all the time, as if silence were a sign of failure, as if pausing were a waste. So we fill our days with noise, the TV always on, endless notifications, back-to-back commitments, thoughts that won't stop even when the body begs for rest. The world has learned to measure worth by movement. Those who are always busy get praised. Those who never pause are admired. But is that really the mark of a full life? The truth is, many people are running without knowing where to. Many are producing, posting, talking, doing, but inside, they're exhausted because too much outside noise drowns out the inner voice. And that voice knows what you feel. It understands your fears, your joys, your longings. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And to hear it, you need silence, space, a pause. A simple life is a way to create that space. Not to escape the world, but to return to it more whole, more aware. When you allow yourself to live with less noise, something beautiful happens. You start noticing things that once went unseen. The birds singing at dawn, the wind rustling leaves, the rhythm of your own breath. You realize peace doesn't depend on anything grand. It doesn't require a trip, an award, or applause. Just presence. And presence, the thing so many search for in books, courses, religions. It blooms when the noise fades. Yes, silence can be scary at first. It reveals what was hidden. It brings up questions we've avoided for so long. But it's also where we find the most honest answers. Peace isn't the absence of problems. Peace is when problems no longer steal your ability to take a deep breath and move forward with lightness. And that peace doesn't live in noise. Not in the rush, the urgency, the pressure to always do something. It lives in the now. In the simplicity of a moment fully lived. And in this stage of life, with all the wisdom it brings, we have the right and the duty to seek that peace with more courage. We've run enough, we've proven enough, now it's time to feel. 2. Slow down, to choose what stays and what can go. Life doesn't need to be a spectacle to have value. Sometimes, it's in the silence of a sunset that its greatness shines. So try turning off the noise for a few minutes each day. Put the phone aside, sit by the window. Listen to the sound of your own presence. At first, it may feel strange. But with time, you'll realize the peace you've been searching for was waiting for you all along, right there in the silence. The value of the little that means a lot. When we're younger, it seems like everything revolves around more money, more achievements, more recognition. We get used to measuring life as if it were a scale. The more we pile on one side, the more valuable it becomes. But over time, the heart begins to see differently. It understands that the true measure of life isn't in quantity, but in quality. Not in how much we have, but in how much what we have truly fulfills us. That's when we start recognizing the value of little. And this little is anything but small. It carries depth, truth, meaning. A freshly brewed coffee, sipped in silence. On a calm morning. A hug from someone dear, unhurried and undistracted. A handwritten letter. A prayer offered with faith. None of these things have market value. But in the heart of someone who lives attentively, they're worth more than any material possession. A simple life teaches us to revalue what we'd cast aside. It shows us that the greatest luxury isn't an expensive car, but the time you have to visit someone you love. It's not in a fancy dish, but in food made with care, with simple ingredients and a present soul. It's in being able to listen to an old story told by someone who's lived long enough to know that haste leads nowhere. When we start living more mindfully, we realize that too much often crowds out what truly matters. And little, when chosen wisely, can fill life with peace, gratitude, and lightness. It's not about having a house full of objects, but a home with good energy, quiet corners, and memories that warm you. It's not about having crowds of friends, but one or two people who truly listen, understand, and stay. This is the secret many take too long to grasp. And those who do, change. They change how they consume, plan, dream. They even change how they talk to God, because simplicity sharpens our awareness. It lets us recognize the beauty hidden in everyday gestures. Once you learn this, even washing dishes becomes a moment of gratitude, because you start seeing the privilege of having a plate, having food, having time. The little transforms into a symbol of abundance. The much that the world offers comes with noise, weight, and demands. But the little, when lived well, comes with peace. That's why so many people with little live more serenely than those who have everything, but are always chasing more. The value of things shifts when our perspective does. And that perspective deepens with time, experience, and the losses, and fresh starts life brings. Maybe today you have less than you did 20 years ago. But maybe, precisely because of that, you have far more. More clarity, more gratitude, more sensitivity to see that the value of things isn't in their price, but in their presence. In the now. In the love poured into every small gesture. A simple life isn't about living with little out of obligation. It's about choosing the essential out of wisdom. And those who make that choice find peace, the wealth of routine. For a long time we were taught that routine was the enemy of happiness. That only those who leap from one novelty to the next, who travel the world, who always have something unusual to share, are truly happy. But as the years pass, we come to realize that true peace lies in the predictable, in the familiar, in that sequence of repeated gestures, done with soul, that turn an ordinary day into something special. Routine, when lived with presence, is one of life's greatest gifts. It sustains our mental, emotional, and spiritual health, even if we don't always notice it. Think about it. How long has it been since you truly valued your daily rituals? The coffee brewed slowly, the long bath in the late afternoon, the quiet walk down the street, that same park bench where the sunlight falls just right. It may all seem too simple, but it's precisely these moments, often automatic, that have the power to reconnect us with who we are. Routine holds a quiet wisdom. It organizes time, calms the heart, and reminds us that not every day needs to be extraordinary to be good. In truth, the more we learn to find beauty in ordinary days, the richer life becomes. Because joy isn't in sporadic events, it's in constancy. In knowing that every day you can do something for yourself. You can make your bed with care. You can cook your favorite meal. You can call someone you love. You can sit in the same spot as always and still discover a new detail in that familiar view. Routine also protects us. It gives us a sense of security. In an increasingly unpredictable world, small habits provide stability. It's as if the body and mind know that in those repeated gestures, there's something sacred. That's why many older people who maintain a simple, balanced routine live with greater emotional health than younger people trapped in chaotic, restless lives. Because routine anchors us. It gives direction. It helps us see that time isn't our enemy, it's an ally. As long as we know how to walk with it. And make no mistake, living a routine doesn't mean falling into monotony. Quite the opposite. It means finding meaning in what's already around us. When we look closely, even a glass of water takes on new depth. Even sweeping the floor becomes a form of meditation. Routine can be monotonous, or it can be a gentle dance where every step is taken with awareness and gratitude. Maybe today you live a quieter life, with less hustle, and wonder if this means life is slowing down. But what if it's the opposite? What if now is when life is finally revealing its true wealth? Because when we slow down, we see clearly. And we see that routine, the same one that once seemed dull, is actually life's silent embrace, whispering, "I'm here," in the simple, the certain, the repeated. And this is where you can find yourself. The wealth of routine isn't in what it brings that's new, but in what it strengthens that's old. Our values, our gestures, our story. Every similar morning is deep down another chance to live better. What we already know. And living well, in the end, might just be this, turning the ordinary into sacred ground. The silence that heals. We live in a world where silence frightens us. Where silence is seen as emptiness, as absence, something that needs to be filled. But time teaches us that silence is far more than that. Silence is presence. It is listening. It is healing. It doesn't announce itself. It arrives gently, like a breeze touching your skin without you noticing. But when you allow it to stay, it transforms you. Silence has the power to reveal what noise conceals. It brings to the surface what we truly feel, what we've ignored, what we've avoided because we didn't know how to face it. And as difficult as it may be, that's when real healing begins. When we're constantly surrounded by noise, there's no room for the soul to breathe. The TV always on, phone notifications, empty conversations. All of it pulls us away from ourselves. Because there's a huge difference between being surrounded by sound and being at peace. And that peace begins the moment we make space for silence in our lives. At first, it may feel strange. It might even hurt, because silence makes us look inward. And we don't always like what we see. But that's exactly where the opportunity lies, the chance to reconcile with who we are, to accept the past, to forgive what was left unresolved. Silence heals because it returns us to the truth. And the truth, even if it stings at first, is always freeing. How many times have we stifled feelings, swallowed words, ignored intuitions? All of it piles up inside us like an invisible weight. Until one day, the body screams what the soul has kept quiet for too long. But when we sit in silence, even for just a few minutes, something within us aligns. It's as if the dust of emotions settles and we can finally see clearly what was once blurred. You don't need grand rituals to embrace silence. Just close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and observe what you feel. It could be on the porch, during a slow walk, or simply lying down listening to your own heartbeat. Silence is a natural remedy. It connects us to what's beyond words, to what's sacred. It's in silence that many people find God, not a distant God full of rules, but the God who speaks in calm, who comforts in intimacy, who guides with gentleness. And you know what's most beautiful? Silence also heals relationships. Sometimes, true listening says more than 1,000 pieces of advice. Sometimes just being beside someone, without interrupting, without judging, is already an act of deep love. Because silence holds respect. And when two hearts meet in that quiet space, something profound happens. Understanding is born. A simple life teaches us that not everything needs to be said. Not everything needs to be explained. Some pains dissolve with time, others only in silence. And those who learn to listen to that empty space discover it was never truly empty. It was full of answers that noise had kept from arriving. So allow yourself. Turn off the distractions. Give yourself the gift of a few minutes of silence each day. Because in a world where everyone wants to speak, those who learn to listen and to listen to themselves find a treasure no one can take away, the peace that heals from within, connections that truly matter. As the years pass, we realize that the most important things in life aren't things, they're people. Yet even knowing this, we often find ourselves surrounded by contacts and still deeply alone. We live in a time where we have hundreds of numbers in our phones, profiles on social media, messages arriving non-stop. But how many of those conversations are real? How many people truly know how you're doing today? How many listen to you without hurry, without judgment, without distraction? A simple life invites us to cherish something modernity has neglected: deep connections. The kind that don't require masks, don't demand performance, don't force us to always be fine. Real connections are the ones that comfort, that listen in silence, that respect our time and our truth. They don't need much. A shared cup of tea with friends, a 5-minute phone call that warms the heart, a look that says, "I understand," without words. In youth, we want to be seen. We want lots of friends, to be everywhere, to be remembered by everyone. But with maturity comes a new wisdom, that it's better to have few around, but those who are truly there. And if you're past 60, you may have noticed this more than ever. Time begins to refine relationships. Some fade along the way. Others reveal themselves as precious. and some new ones appear unexpectedly, bringing a light you didn't think you'd find again. To truly connect with someone is an act of courage. It's allowing yourself to be vulnerable. It's listening with your heart. It's genuinely caring for the other, even when they have nothing to offer but their presence. And the most beautiful part? These connections don't need to be many. One or two are enough to make life bloom again. Sometimes it's that neighbor you greet every day but never stop to talk to. Sometimes it's a family member you've neglected who still hopes for closeness. Sometimes it's a new friend life places in your path just when you thought it was too late to form new bonds. Simplicity lives there too, in reclaiming what's human, in caring for others, in true presence. Because deep down, we all need to be seen, to be heard, to be embraced. And we all have the capacity to offer that too. You don't need grand gestures. Just remember, send a sincere message. Visit someone you haven't seen in a while. Ask how they're doing and listen to the answer with care. At the end of life, the most valuable memories won't be of the things you accumulated, but of the people you loved and who loved you back. The secret to a life well lived lies in the connections we nurture along the way, and often there's still time to start over, to forgive, to reconnect, to build new stories. Never underestimate the power of a call, a visit, a small act of kindness. Because for those who live with an attentive heart, one true connection can heal old wounds, fill deep silences, and turn the simplest days into unforgettable ones. Now that you've made it this far, perhaps you've realized something few people dare to see, that the secret to a simple life isn't about changing the world, but about changing your perspective. It's not about having less out of obligation. It's about choosing what truly matters. It's leaving excess behind, excessive things, demands, guilt, noise, and making space for what truly nourishes, peace, lightness, presence, connection. If this video has touched your heart, don't ignore this calling. Maybe it's time to reorganize your home inside and out. Reassess your priorities, slow down. Value what's already there, so close yet, so forgotten. And so essential. Because living simply isn't living less, it's living more deeply. It's living with soul. So I invite you, share this video with someone you love. Someone who might be rushing too much, suffering in silence, or feeling lost. This message could be the pause they've been needing. And if you believe the world needs more truth, more affection, and more wisdom, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Here, we don't speak just to pass the time. We speak to touch hearts. Remember, it's never too late to start over. Never too early to choose what has value. And nothing is too little when done with intention. The simple life holds a secret. And now that secret is yours too. Take good care of it.